Well, let's go to our main event. We had a little bit more conversation in the back with people that we don't care about. And then came the big match, the tag match, Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Useless against Claudio Castagnoli and his friend Pac. So 2 of the 6-man tag team champions are teaming up against one of the other 6-man champion and their ex-friend Bryan Danielson. And same kind of match that you see here from these people all the time now with Useless, who they, again, is another guy. Even Garcia looks like Lex Luger next to Wheeler here. But another guy that, because he can do some moves that you could train a chimpanzee to do, suddenly he's going to be a pillar of the community and the promotion. And they are trying to jam him and shoehorn him down everybody's throats and into our hearts. And it ain't never going to work, but it doesn't have to, because they don't need to make any money. They just get paid the money, and they already have the money. But this degenerated into another thing with the plumber and this whole fucking whatever Tarantino film he's writing in his head. Danielson makes comeback on Claudio and suddenly sees the plumber and Marina Schaefer at ringside, and that causes him to run into Claudio's uppercut. But that's a 2 count. And then Pac gives him the 450 splash, and that's a 2 count. And then everything grinds to a halt. Because at that point, Marina Schaefer jumps up and draws the corpse referee. They had to have Knox involved in this. And Pac gets a hammer and goes into the ring and backs right up way far away from the guy that he was going to hit with the hammer, and draws the hammer back over his shoulder so he telegraphed a mile away that Wheeler standing there can grab it. And then they stared at each other. And while they were staring at each other, Danielson got the label lock on Pac and he tapped. And then Danielson is the one that jumped Moxley out on the floor, and they fought to the back, and the camera was following them. So you were in the ring, you were treated to either Marina Schaefer beating up Useless or Claudio giving him fake gut shots with a hammer, while they were cutting to the back in the parking area with Danielson and Moxley doing another one of the many fights that they all do in the back of the arena. And then Danielson and Moxley fight back into the arena so that they can get in the ring, and Danielson can clear the ring and stand there leading the people in finger-pointing yes chants, while poor Wheeler, that's been beaten in the stomach with a hammer, is laying behind him, and he ain't noticing a goddamn, like, he don't know that Wheeler is living on this earth right at that point. And then right as before they go off the air, he turns around and goes, "Oh, Wheeler, you okay?" "Yeah, I'm just puking up blood." But what? That's what that was. Did I miss any of the fine points?
I don't think so. And, you know, there's been a real problem, and I thought about it during the promo earlier in the show, and I've thought about it for a while now. Bryan Danielson's devaluation, which is only partly Tony Khan's fault, a lot of it's Bryan Danielson's fault, continues. And there's a fucking record of it now. Look at the ratings when he's in the overrun or any of his segments. No one is excited to see him or anything he's doing right now. His matches have become long, plodding, boring things for the most part. Some people really still dig them, but it's a diminishing audience. He's got this feud with Moxley. No one cares. This is the only thing they've been doing on this show that's a real feud. Had no buzz. No one was going to watch to see it. Yuta is another one of these guys they're spending all this time on. It just isn't going to happen. Claudio, no one cares about. Marina Shafir is interesting because they've really not established what her role in any of this is. And then Moxley and Danielson. Brawling in, brawling out.
Moxley and Danielson were in the same group for years, it seemed like. And then he puts a plastic bag over Danielson's head and doesn't bother to come out and tell us exactly why he did that. He confuses us with all his blah, blah, blah. So there's no focus on why did this happen? What could Danielson have done to allegedly deserve this? Why did Moxley make this decision? Whose side was everybody on? We know that Wheeler was left in the dark. It's indie movie, acting auditions for Moxley, who delivers these incoherent statements very convincingly. If you had a clue what he was talking about, it might be good.
Instead, he just speaks in riddles. And nothing ever goes anywhere. At least he sold a little bit for Danielson. I don't know if he sold too much for other people, but the Gardeners are here, and that's a perfect way to end this. That's AEW Dynamite, the go-home show for the pay-per-view.